Chiefs Kingdom ACU crew, welcome back to All Chiefed Up. We're back with another live podcast for that ass, Steve. And before we jump in, this video is powered by BetUS. So let's shout out BetUS today. Head over to betus.com and check out what they got going on right now. If you use the code YouTube150, you get 150% deposit bonus match on your first deposit. And then on your next two deposits, you get 125% deposit bonus match. These are up to $2,000. Take advantage of all the free plays you can get by making those deposits and getting the matches. The site is easy to use. There's plenty of props on there. Go to betus.com. Use promo code YouTube150. Let them know All Chiefed Up sent you. Steve, we got a lot of Chiefs news to dive into. So are you ready for it?
Yeah, let's go.
You're ready for it. You're ready for it. Well, the day kicked off. And who had a worse day today than Bailey Zappi? Okay, he got claimed. Bailey Zappi is going to the Cleveland Browns, ladies and gentlemen. If you thought your day sucked ass, just know that you didn't get a text this morning from your agent saying you're going to freaking Cleveland.
Hey, he thought he was going to sit there and ride to an easy Super Bowl ring, baby. He was like, I'm going to be a Super Bowl champion. Ring, ring. You're a Brown.
Your uniform's going to look like a poop stain, and your stadium sucks, and your fan base hates you, and congratulations.
I think he's going to have to call up Kareem Hunt because he's had the experience before, so he's going to have to get his...
Kareem Hunt is
how did you deal?
Laughing right now. He's like, better you than me. And then a little bit of a joke's on us, because then we signed back Chris Oladokun.
Oh, man.
So, I mean, come on. Oladokun showed some flashes, though, right? When he got a chance, and then he also showed his
If by flashes you mean interceptions, then yeah, he showed.
Yeah, he showed flashes of being able to throw it to the other team, but I mean, a completion is a completion.
No, it's
okay.
not.
Okay. Well, that was the first few things that happened this morning. And then we got a little bit of a Jaylen Watson injury update. Jeremy Fowler reported he's going to undergo surgery in the coming days for a broken fibula-tibia. After tests confirmed the injury per sources, outside chance that he's back for a late playoff push, source adds, but his season very well could be over, and it's probably looking like it's over.
Yeah.
That's going to be a tough one to come back from.
Yeah, they're definitely not going to bring him back at the last second in AFC Championship game or something like that.
Yeah, I feel like that would just be asking for like, oh, a rusty Jaylen Watson, you haven't even moved for 2 weeks. Come out and guard the best of the best here. Let's get us to the Super Bowl.
Right. It sucks, man. It is what it is, though. So hopefully he recovers well and gets some much-needed rest, I suppose. But what do you think, man? You think they're going to be also – we know what this video is about, okay? We made the thumbnail. Oh, yeah. We made it, so we know what it's about. But first, you think they might look at cornerback? Do you think they might go out of house? I know we think they're going to – I think Najee Johnson's the next man up.
Yeah.
Right? We've seen that. So if he can maintain, he can play well, then I think the spot's his. And then, of course, there's Josh Williams. And then we got other guys, too, Roland Wallace and some of those other younger kids. So I don't think they necessarily have to, but do you think that's on their minds? Like, maybe we can look and see what we can do.
I think they may just test what's out there here and there. I don't think they're going to pursue it all that much. We talked about this a little bit yesterday, and I still feel like our cornerback position as a whole, and then when you look at our practice squad, I still feel like everybody there is serviceable enough to be able to use sparingly. Again, Jaylen Watson we didn't think he was going to come in and be that number 2 guy that was just going to play 95% of the snaps every week. They were saying that this is probably going to be a committee. And then Jaylen Watson just kind of shined. And he was having a breakout year, to be honest. But injuries are injuries, and we're hitting the injury bug. So, I mean, it's next man up. And, I mean, Najee has looked decent throughout his time. He's had about 80 to 90 coverage snaps all year long. He's only allowed like 3 or 4 targets for like 41 yards, 44 yards, something in that vicinity. And 41 of them come off that one blown pass play versus the 49ers just last week where he got caught looking in the backfield. Big deal. There's been a lot of good corners get beat. Go watch some of the best corners. They'll get beat every once in a while. If you're looking to make a play,
everyone
and
acted
the
like
quarterback,
L'Jarius Sneed was the best corner in the history of the game last year, and he got toasted a few times.
Right. I mean, sometimes it's just going to happen. Like you get caught, your mechanics get low, you start looking to make a play, you get over confident. Be it what it is, I think Najee Johnson's a good football player. He's got good technique.
Sometimes you just want to act like Eli Apple,
Hey,
every once in a while.
Burnt Toast made a lot of money in this league. But look, I think Nazee's going to step up. I think Josh Williams will get more opportunities. Between those two, and then when you go to the practice squad, you've got Keith Taylor, who, by the way, looked pretty good in the preseason. We all thought he was probably going to make the team or be right there on the bubble. And then, they got rid of Kelvin Joseph, but I don't think nobody's picked him up. Echo Boy Doe still on the street somewhere. You've got plenty of options they could always go to.
I'm still not out on Joshua Williams. It's not like a Sky Moore situation.
I'm not either, but a lot of Chiefs Kingdom, Steve, they think Josh Williams was just a total bust.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think there's still something left there that we haven't seen yet. But he's got to cash in on his opportunities. He can't Sky Moore the hell out of it. So when he's out there, he needs to play, be on his A game, and make things happen, man. Appreciate you guys being with us today. A little early day live stream. Going to talk about some fun stuff. Please do us a favor. Hit that like button for us. Helps get this out to more people. And also, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, don't be a freaking slapnut. Go over there and hit that little subscribe button. Hit the bell, and then you'll know when we come out with stuff, too. Appreciate you all, though. But, Mike, let's talk about what everybody wants to talk about.
Yeah, let's go ahead and jump right into it. The fun stuff of the day. So, first and foremost, Diana Russini from The Athletic come out and said the Rams have called multiple teams about trading former Super Bowl MVP Cooper Kupp. Sources are telling Mike Silver, Jordan Rodriguez, and me, Diana Russini, the Rams have indicated a willingness. So they are willing to take on some of his 2024 salary, which I think is around $9 million, and are seeking a second-round pick. Now, before we go any further, they're saying that they may take about $5 million of it if somebody will give up a second-round pick. Now, look, Steve, the Chiefs have 2/3, and we know our second-round pick is going to be number 64 because we're going to the Super Bowl, win or lose, at 63-64.
Right.
We're going to be there.
2 third-rounders.
And we're sitting on 2/3. One's Tennessee, who's probably going to be a top 5 pick in the third round. So you would essentially...
You almost wouldn't be losing anything.
You almost don't lose anything. You lost Snead for that early third. You give up, you get Kupp for the second, and they would take about $5 million of his cap hit this year. So you would take about $4 million.
You think they might take that early third rounder?
They could. If you got a nice swindler on the phone like Brett Veach, and he's like, hey...
He's bargain shopping, baby.
He's like, look, I'll go ahead and give you the third rounder if you'll throw in DeMarcus Robinson, too.
I bet his first job was selling vacuums door to door.
Don't tell Willie Gay that.
He's out there getting people to pay for things that suck. Because
look, so that's the initial report. So everybody's like injuries, this and that. Spot Rack comes out and says, he quotes what Diana Russini says, and then they show his contract. So 2024 is $9.1 million guaranteed. They said they would take about $5 million of that if you would give up a second. Now, look, they didn't specify high second, low second, mid round. They just said a second. But like you said, an early third, a top 5 in the third could be close enough. They may not take all 5, but maybe they take 4 or something like that. But as long as the Chiefs don't have to pull in all $9 million guaranteed, there is something there. But going on, 2025 is $20 million with $5 million guaranteed. And then in 2026, he's owed about $20 million, and there's no guaranteed money. But Steve, Cooper Kupp is 31 years old. And again, showing medicals here, Jesse Morse, MD, says when healthy, Kupp has been elite. Problem is he's missed 16 games over the past 3 years due to injuries. 4 games this year so far, 4 games last year, and 8 games in 2022. High risk, high reward. I wonder if that's too expensive for a soon-to-be 32-year-old who has trouble staying healthy. Steve, do you think a second-round pick for Cooper Kupp's too expensive?
I do. I really do. I love Cooper Kupp, too.
I think it's a little high.
But I think it's a little too high. That's why I was thinking about dipping into that third round. You got 2 there. Maybe try to give them one of those. And that's the thing about it. I don't think Brett Veach is actively out there looking for receivers that are old. I don't think he's looking for people over 30 and stuff like that. But I think someone like Cooper Kupp, or who we're going to talk about in a minute, and who we talked about all last offseason, DeAndre Hopkins, those are both guys that could come in, and if they can stay healthy just for this season, they're going to serve the purpose that we need. Okay, we don't need anybody going forward. We don't have to have the long-term thing right now. It's not a big deal. But what we do need right now is a reliable freaking target for Patrick Mahomes to pass to that isn't a water boy and isn't a homeless guy off the street. That's all there is to it.
Well, presumably you would have Cooper Kupp hopefully healthy for at least the next 8 weeks of the regular season, 9 weeks of the regular season, plus playoffs. Can he stay healthy? I don't know. That is something he's not been able to do. So to say he's going to stay healthy, so to give up a second-round pick for a guy that you're only going to borrow for half a season is asinine, and the Chiefs aren't doing it.
Like third's almost too much, but I could work with it because we have 2 of them.
If you
look,
if you could guarantee that Cooper Kupp would come over and he would say, "Look, I'm at the end of my career. I want some Super Bowls. I'll restructure. We'll go cheaper. Let's get me here for 2 or 3 more years."
That's a possibility too, right?
Let's redo that, and that's fine. Then I'll give up a third or that early third, maybe a late second. I would consider it if you got him for 3 or 4 more years. But how much is he going to be? Well, he's going to be 33
and
at
also
this time
how
next year.
available is he going to be? That's the problem with Cooper Kupp. No one is arguing that Cooper Kupp is not an elite receiver when he's healthy.
I think a second-round pick is crazy if you just now got a second-round. Like, did they get a second-round pick for Devontae Adams? It was a third that could be a second, right?
Correct. So, I mean, that's kind of the ballpark it's going to be in. I mean,
but isn't Adams an all-around better receiver? He's way more elite.
I mean, I think at the top of their game, they're both in that elite tier. But I do think Adams is probably
Cooper
the better
fits our
receiver
system more than a Devontae Adams would have.
Absolutely. So, Cooper Kupp, healthy, would fit amazingly in Andy Reid's system, could be a huge weapon. But here's the thing, man. The Chiefs have been playing that gambling game for a few years now where they get these injury-prone guys and just see how much production they can get out of them. And so far, it's bit them in the ass a few times. Namely, Kadarius Toney absolutely destroyed them.
Got him this year with Hollywood Brown.
Right, but the difference is Kadarius Toney, I mean, you got to think about it. They gave up a 3rd-round pick for Kadarius Toney.
Yeah, that's nuts, dude. So if you think about it, you give up a third for Kadarius Toney. Is that what
anyone out there talking about a 3rd-rounder being too much for Cooper Kupp needs to reevaluate themselves and remember that we gave up a 3rd-round pick for Kadarius Toney.
2 years ago, you got a 3rd-round pick for Toney, but then Devontae Adams didn't. I guess because of the age gap.
That's before Toney showed that he was useless in the league. Like, people still thought there was something.
I mean, he was borderline useless with the Giants.
I don't know, man. I think when he played with the Giants, though, he was off the charts. He was making crazy athletic plays. He looked like there was so much there. And then we go get him, and he just shit the bed.
So what you're saying is the Chiefs should return the favor for Zappy and go sign Kadarius Toney off the practice squad of the Browns.
I don't know about all that.
And then Brett will say, "Look, I brought in Cooper Kupp, but younger." Way less productive. Well, Steve, look, Cooper Kupp, we've talked about this.
Let's get to this real quick. Go ahead. We missed it. We got a 2-bomb from Reggie. He says, per Nate Taylor, KC ain't trading for nobody over 30. And that kind of goes along with what I was saying. I don't think they're actively looking to. But I think if you're just looking for someone to fill in a hole, fill in this gap we have right now for just this season, I don't think it matters if they're 30, 32,
Steve,
33.
doesn't different names and different productions and like Cooper Kupp, Devontae Adams, those names transcend going out and getting like, you know, a Greg Dortch type receiver that's 34 years old. Okay, yeah, that's not going to happen. But if you start looking at like Cooper Kupp or you start looking at Devontae Adams, apparently the Chiefs had inquired about Devontae Adams. It come out that they were inquired and the Raiders were like, "Look, we're not trading him in the division."
Right. Well, everybody knew that. Everybody knew that was going to happen.
Well, most people knew that.
But yeah, what about our DHop though? Let's talk about DHop for a minute.
Yeah, let me play this clip here. It's a little bit long. It's about 2 minutes, but check this out. And I'm sure McAfee's going to come nail us for this, but I'll edit it out in post. Here we go.
The Chiefs seemingly undefeated, obviously not seemingly, definitely undefeated, only team left. But every single game, whenever Andy Reid off a bye, big win against the Niners. Brock Purdy has like his third or fourth bad game in his entire career. Obviously, Spags has been dominant against Shanahan. They're able to win. Patrick Mahomes has more interceptions than he does touchdowns. Travis Kelce has 0 touchdowns. We're going into week
He's got a weird voice,
eight right now, and they're undefeated. What do you think? Juju gets hurt. I think he was out this week. They have injuries seemingly every single week. They haven't been nearly as productive as anybody would have expected them to be on the offensive side. They're still undefeated. When you're talking to people around the NFL, they just say like, "Yeah, that's what the Chiefs do. The Chiefs just win." What do you think the Chiefs do here before trade deadline, November 5th?
First of all, I think it's incredible what they've done because they're not playing at a high level. And they are making mistakes, and they do have injuries, and they're still the lone unbeaten team in the league. I think they'll call around. Again, they want to see how some of these playmakers fared, and in their previous game, Juju stepped up and played great, and then he gets the hamstring injury yesterday at a spot where they're already pretty thin. Kareem Hunt has stepped in, and he's played very well for Isaiah Pacheco, who is, again, expected to miss 8 weeks. I think that they're going to be checking around and asking about wide receivers. But here's the thing. Like, we could bring up some of these other wide receivers, but they like to get people who know that system, generally speaking, who Mahomes is comfortable working with. And we're seeing Josh Allen getting to know Amari Cooper right now. We know Aaron knows Devontae Adams. So everybody's different. I think in a perfect world, it's somebody like a DeMarcus Robinson that knows the system and knows the quarterback that would fit there, that can provide some help. They still can use a little bit of help at the wide receiver position.
They can really use a guy that runs backwards every time he has the ball.
I don't know that it's going to be some big splashy move. They'll look into everything, of course, but I think it's more likely that it'll be a less heralded, more inexpensive, less draft capital player that they would be getting than some of the big name guys. DeAndre Hopkins, if Tennessee keeps losing, it would make a whole lot of sense to move on from him if they could get something back from him.
What was that look on the sideline? They were trying to make that a big deal. Where he was next to Callahan. Yeah, he was on the sideline. Hop in a city that is going to potentially go on a run, remotivated, would be fun.
Yes.
Especially with that size, 5X?
Yeah.
He's got that 5X hand.
Yeah.
Like he's the Undertaker.
So, yeah, man, he talks about DHop. And look, this is going to get edited out in post because the NFL is going to sue us. McAfee's going to sue us. I've already been alerted there's a lawsuit coming. So, look, it's going to get chopped. So, anybody pick it up right now. Schefter just pretty much said from his messy hotel room that the Chiefs are probably not going to make a big splashy wide receiver move. He thinks DeMarcus Robinson in a perfect world. That's insane. But, look, he's in the mind of Brett Veach, Steve. Brett Veach wants to bring those kind of guys back. That's all we do.
Don't.
Luckily, the Saints took MVS off our hands yesterday, so you don't have that coming.
Well,
so that's a positive.
Can I just throw something out there?
Yeah, let's talk about DHop.
We had a nasty, terrible wide receiver room last year with an offense that was so stagnant that you would have tried anything to get it going at times. They didn't once go out trying to get a DeMarcus Robinson or someone like that, or Byron Pringle, or some kind of turd that we had 8 years ago. I don't think that they have to do that. I don't think they're gonna do that. And I wouldn't be surprised if Brett Veach doesn't sign like a lower tier guy with a high ceiling. That wouldn't surprise me. But it would surprise me if they were to dip back into a player that we know what they are. There is no high ceiling for DeMarcus Robinson. So why do it? Who cares? He's not going to move the needle.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Thanks for being here, guys. We're over 900. If you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. We're trying to hit 50K. If you're on X, come over to YouTube, sign up, go to All Chiefed Up, subscribe right there for the best Chief stuff that you can find. We're going to throw this out. We do this daily sometimes. We'll throw out videos. We throw out all kinds of content. We got a 2-bomb here from Stephen Bill. He says, Mike Williams, a fourth or a fifth to the Jets. Steve, we've talked about Mike Williams. We think he's one of those injury-prone type of guys too, but a fifth-rounder for Mike Williams being injury-prone, does that feel okay there?
That seems to be a trend with all the receivers that are on the trade block. They're not healthy ever. They're all good receivers, but we know why people are trying to get rid of them. Because they're just not available. So I don't know if that really helps us or not. With Mike Williams, a 4th or 5th round pick doesn't seem bad for the talent that the guy has, but at the same time, we have a Mike Williams at home.
Yeah,
we do.
His name's Justin Ross.
We have one of those, and we don't use him.
Yeah,
ever.
Well, Steve, a lot of people say it's because Justin Ross showed his ass in the last year when he got a chance,
and he lined
up
wrong
in the preseason. He's lining up wrong. He don't know where he's at. Blah blah blah. It's one time.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure he's fine. Look, the Chiefs just don't tend to use that physical, big type of receiver. They just don't. When they've tried Josh Gordon, Kelvin Benjamin, if you want to go back a few years, it just never works out. It doesn't pan out. They don't do well here. The offense does not tend to flow through big wide receivers. I think the Chiefs rely on tight ends to do the work of big physical chain movers and people that go get contested balls and things like that. So I appreciate the 2 bombs, Steven. Would Mike Williams be something I would look at? I probably personally wouldn't. And if I could, I think I would be willing to give up no more than a 6
We have
or
a
7.
Mike Williams at home on All Chiefed Up, too.
We do. Put me in.
Look at him right here.
I'll take all that money and set on the IR. Please.
What's going on, Dez? Shout out and been a member for 10 months now. Says Kupp would help draw some double teams for Ip Kelsey and others. I think got to do something, him or Deontay. Juju out for weeks now, too.
Yeah.
100% agree they have to make a move here. I just don't think you can sit on it. If you do, you're setting yourself up for failure. You're setting Mahomes up for failure. He's already had a slow start to the season. I just think it's a terrible idea. You have to go out and make something happen here. Cooper Kupp would do that, though, because if he's healthy and he's available and he's on the field, people have to pay attention to him. They do. Yeah. And here's the thing. What's Cooper Kupp really freaking good at? Finding those soft spots in the zones and just being open and catching the ball. And that's what we need. That's the receivers that are elite with the Chiefs, Yeah. That's why Travis Kelce's so damn good.
That's why Rashee Rice was starting to turn it on. He was starting to figure out how to beat that zone. He was starting to figure out how to play the soft spot, getting that yak yardage.
Right.
Steve, that's what Cooper Kupp does.
Yeah, he's elite at it. And that would
But Cooper Kupp's also 32 years old. He's injury prone. And so you don't know what you're getting.
Exactly. You're rolling the dice a little bit. But, I mean, it's high risk.
It is
high reward, I guess.
You're playing a game. You're trying to be the first team ever to three-peat. And it may cost a little bit, right?
Yeah. Roulette King with the 5 bomb. Appreciate you, buddy. He says it would make sense to get a player that we already know about that way. We can make plays around him and other skill players. So, yeah, there is some perks to having the familiarity of somebody that's already been in the system, someone that already knows the system a little bit. I do understand that. But when it's a player like a DeMarcus Robinson or somebody that really was just – I mean, let's be honest here. DeMarcus Robinson had a few good games with the Chiefs. He probably had a season or two where he was pretty decent. But he was never really great. He never really moved the needle that much. I don't know if that's really what we need at the moment. I think we have to have somebody that can come in and take our offense up a level. I don't think we need to maintain where we're at. I think we need to take it up a notch.
Yeah, I think our wide receivers, it's a pretty trash room right now. Let's be honest.
It's worse
pretty
than
mediocre.
Last year, and that's
bad.
It's
worse than last year. It's worse than mediocre. But I don't think adding DeMarcus Robinson really helps all that much in a way. Appreciate the 5 bomb there, brother. Steve, there's another name been thrown out today too, and I don't know. The source has not been verified, but this is what they're saying. NFL Notify says the players the Browns are considered trading. So this is a Browns report. If you look down the list, Elijah Moore's on that list. He had played for the Jets. The Browns ended up trading for him, Steve.
There were some rumors about Elijah Moore last
season. Guy that everybody said Brett Veach liked coming out of Ole Miss, and that he is a guy that can beat a zone. He can get open. He can shake in man-to-man. He's a guy you can get the ball to, get that yak yardage. Is Elijah Moore somebody that you would go look at? Because he's not going to move the needle as much as a Cooper Kupp. He's not going to be that guy. He's not even going to move the needle as much as a DHop, let's be honest.
No.
And we didn't really even talk about DHop all that much. We set it up, and then we kind of went away from it. I think at this point we all know D-Hop's just a little bit on the back end.
We'll get there, Michael. We'll get there. Let's talk about Elijah Moore real quick.
But yeah, Elijah Moore, man. Do you like that one?
I'm like kind of whatever about it. I think Elijah Moore could be decent, but he's kind of like that typical Brett Veach kind of target where he should have been more. He hasn't done it yet. Maybe he can do it here type thing. That's not worked out with us. That's not worked out with us so far. And people named Moore tend to suck on our team.
Yeah, we don't need more Moores.
So I would say no on that one, but I mean, I wouldn't be mad. I would rather them go with like Elijah Moore than a DeMarcus Robinson.
Do you like Elijah Moore over Darius Slayton?
Yes.
That's a wild take, though.
I just, man,
I don't respect Slayton as much as he probably deserves.
You're probably right about that. But
He's had 2,000-yard seasons with Daniel Jones.
Mike, I can't with the reject
You're just
Giants wide
afraid that
receivers.
it's a
I can't do
reject
it.
Giants wide receiver. I get you. Okay, so Elijah Moore.
PTSD,
Let's go back and talk about.
Man. Let's talk about this 2-bomb from the Black Goat, baby. It's Justin Ross, man. I mean, a lot of people have been saying Justin Ross for years. I just don't think it's going to happen. I don't think they're going to give him the opportunity.
Yeah, it's just something about Justin Ross, man. They don't want to let him play. Even when he's out there, he's just a big decoy. He'll be open on half the plays, and Mahomes ain't even looking his way. He's just out there running routes.
Is he really open, though? I feel like that's the problem with Justin Ross is that he cannot create separation. And that's the thing.
Yeah.
I think in our offense and in our scheme, you have to be able to do that. Because Patrick Mahomes doesn't really like to throw contested catches.
Don't say that. Chiefs Kingdom will tear you up about that one.
Well, they would be wrong, so I don't care.
Yeah, 100%. He does
just
not
because
like to
they're
throw
loud doesn't
balls.
mean they're right. Okay,
that's true.
He doesn't like to do that. He just don't.
He doesn't.
Statistically,
do it.
he
and
does not do it.
The stats back that up.
So why would they put a guy out there that just does not get separation? And I think that's why you're kind of looking, even we're talking about the big two that we have on the thumbnail with Cooper Kupp and DeAndre Hopkins. I think you're kind of looking more at Kupp in that realm of things because I think he fits into offense a little better.
Yeah, I think Kupp fits the offense better. And then look, let's go talk about DHop just a little bit because Chief Kelsey would not have it any other way if we don't talk about DHop just a little bit.
When he watches this replay, if he's not here right now, he watches this replay. This is for him.
DHop is a guy that I believe helps the offense. Okay. I believe he would help the offense. But how much does he have in the tank? Is he still willing to give the effort? Is he going to be able to stay healthy? Because DHop's had some injuries too. I don't think you give up as much for DHop as you'd have to Cooper Kupp. Not even in the slightest are you giving up anywhere near a second-round pick for DHop. No. So if you could get DHop for, let's say, a 6th-round pick.
DHop's a little older, right?
I don't know if you could get him for a 6th, but I bet Brett would try a 6th, a 7th, a conditional 6th that maybe could get to a 5th. You got to think about it. Our 5th and our 6th is almost a 6th and a 7th. We're picking late. So would you be fine giving up a late 5th, late 6th for DHop for a year, maybe get 2 years out of it? What would you do? Because, again, Rashee Rice has got a year recovery, and then he's probably going to get hit with a 6-game suspension next year. So he could be feasibly gone until Thanksgiving next year.
I don't know, man. Do you think DHop would even do anything for us? Like we were just talking about how Patrick Mahomes doesn't like to throw contested catches.
That's what I'm saying. Is he really going to move the needle that much?
Do you think he could help Mahomes get to doing that? Like, is DHop good enough? We know he wasn't his prime, but like, is he a good enough target to where Mahomes would be like, you know what, I can throw it up to him?
Well, look, if he threw it 2 or 3 times and DHop didn't fight for the ball and it was the bounce
right, but
off
if he
of
makes
him
the
and go
catches,
for a pick, it's going right back to nothing again.
Right, but if he makes the catches, he makes the plays, maybe that builds some confidence there, and that opens up a whole another level to the offense.
Isn't that with anybody, though? Like, if you throw a contested catch to Justin Watson and he starts making enough of them, you're going to trust it.
Right. I don't know, man. I think – so there's one
rank
sleeper.
Them. How would you like to rank these in yours?
Who's all on the list?
Name the 5 biggest targets people are talking about right now. Like, would you put Kupp at number 1? Or
you're putting
Kupp above DHop.
Can I just make my own?
Yeah, just do it.
Okay, so and I'm going to rank these according to
the order of how you would like them.
Okay, but I kind of want to go by like how I think they would produce in the offense.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so number 1, I think that's obviously Cooper Kupp. If he's healthy and he's on the field, he would be the best piece in our offense. I think he would fit it perfectly. He would tear up zones. Patrick Mahomes would use him like crazy, and he would make Travis Kelce's life a lot easier. So I have to put Cooper Kupp at number 1. Number 2, Christian Kirk. People's talked about that. I don't know if that's going to be able to happen. He's way more expensive than all these other guys. He's younger than all these other guys, but he is a long-term play. So if you were to be able to get into him somehow, then that might be something that helps us for the next 2, 3, 4 years, as opposed to just this year. Number 3, I would probably go Deontay Johnson from Carolina. I think he would be a really good target. That's somebody that you liked for the last couple of years. I also think he would fit into this offense pretty good. Now, he does have a bit of character concerns. He's not like the most content person in the world. So you have to be careful with that. And as much as we like to give guys second chances, we also don't like that type of attitude. You can tell they'll pass on guys like that. So they passed on George Pickens. They didn't keep Kamal Hadden on the team because they didn't like his attitude. Like, it's just certain little things like that. So I don't even know if he's that big of a play for them. But I'd have him at 3, DHop 4 for obvious reasons. And then number 5, I'm going to sneak in another Tennessee Titan. I think Trey Burke's still somebody they could be looking at. He's a guy that could come in and play that Rashee Rice
But he
role.
just went to the IR.
He did, but this is like something that they're going to need immediate help, so they wouldn't be able to get him alone, right? But I still think that could be like a long-term.
So you're saying if you could make a move for Trey Burke and then maybe go out and sign,
get one of your mids you're
MVS is
talking
off the
about.
team.
Get one of your mids you're talking about. You know,
Elijah Moore. You put him at 5.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. I kind of agree with you. There's one guy you left off the list, and again, I don't think they're ever going to trade him, but if you could get him, Tyreek Hill would be sick to bring back to the kingdom. I just don't think that's happening. I don't think they were willing to, and especially now that Tua says, hey, PTSD, brain injury, whatever I got,
right.
Be damned.
I see a lot of people in the chat saying Jonathan Mingo over Burks. I mean, I don't know if they're really going to trade Mingo away. They got Mingo and Xavier Legette over there. If they can get a competent quarterback.
But isn't Xavier Legette and Mingo pretty much the same wide receiver? I think Legette's more athletic.
Yeah, Legette's insane. So, I mean, it's like...
So do you think his emergence a little bit helps get Mingo off that team? I mean, but Mingo's only been on there. This is just his second year, right?
Well, that's the thing, man. If they had a quarterback that wasn't 2.5 feet tall... Like, I mean, they put in Andy Dalton's old ass, and he was able to start torching people with the guys they had out there. Deontay Johnson, Jonathan Mingo, Xavier Legette.
Don't
like
disrespect Big D Dalton out there, Steve.
No, I'm just saying, dude. Like, I don't know if they're going to mess with that. Like, they just need a quarterback over there, to be quite honest. So, I don't know if they'll mess with it. But, I mean, I would not be opposed to Jonathan Mingo, by the way. If I could pick him over Trey Burke, I think they're right there in the same ballpark. Obviously, Mingo's better option at the moment because he's not hurt.
Right.
So,
well, we had talked about DK a little bit. DK Metcalf, he got carted off the field the other day. They don't know the extent of that injury. I haven't seen anything today. Hopefully, it's nothing major for him just because I hate injuries. But, yeah, there's just not.
Hate him.
There's not tons and tons and tons of guys you go get. I've seen people say go get Calvin Ridley. They're not going to pay Ridley all that money and then get rid of Ridley that quick. Like, it's just not happening. Right. Ridley's stuck. He made that bed, lie in it.
Hey, it could be the same thing for DHop. Like, y'all quit going over there to that suck-ass team. It's on you. Chief KT with the 2 bomb says Ross had a chance and couldn't beat out Sky Moore. That is 100% true, and that's something that you guys need to keep in mind in the chat. Everybody, we got to bring a DHop. We got to bring Nico Remigio. And I'm okay with just staying in-house. If they want to do that, do it. I think both of those guys have a lot more to offer than we've seen.
Can I play devil's advocate with that, though?
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't think those guys got a fair shot to beat Sky Moore. And I'm going to tell you why. Because Sky Moore was a second-round pick. They're still holding out hope. Veach don't want to admit he's wrong. And there is no reason Sky Moore needs to be playing right now. He actually had 33 snaps in the last game. 33 snaps. And besides him blocking and taking up space.
You've answered this question on the last live stream.
Me?
Yeah, you did.
What did I say?
So it doesn't matter if Sky Moore's catching the ball.
That's true.
He gets hardly 0 targets, but he's always where he's supposed to be at. He's decent in the blocking game, and he does what they need him to do. Like, and that's the thing about it. They don't care that the one time they have to throw it to him, he just can't catch. What do they do? They just don't throw it to him.
True. So,
but he's still. It's kind of like
at the end of the day. Then
it's like a lower like. It's like a sample size of what MVS was to the team last year, where like no one cared. They weren't going to throw him the ball.
If you don't care how productive he is, as long as he can run a few routes and make some blocks, then again, did you have a fair chance of beating him out? He's just more experienced at this point.
Exactly. So, I mean, did they have a fair chance? Yeah, I think they had a fair chance.
And honestly,
did they do it? No.
As you say, Sky Moore comes in. He has the 3rd, 4th highest, but he's still 3 or 4. To be honest, Hardman is better than Sky Moore right now. I mean, for his career, obviously. Yeah. But even right now, he's better. He's more productive.
Agreed.
So Sky should technically be wide receiver 4. So even if you put Sky on the practice squad and brought one up, how much is a wide receiver 4 going to even do anything?
We have 4 freaking receivers on the team. Last year we had 7. Do we even have to put one of them back on the practice?
But I'm just trying to say, how much is a wide receiver 4 or wide receiver 5 even going to contribute?
I don't think that any of them.
Maybe you don't drop the 1 catch a game. Right. Maybe that's what it is. Well, can we? Okay, go ahead with Steven.
We got the 2 bomb from Steven. He says Osborne, Westbrook, and Melton, all guys that they could add to. KJ Osborne, that's somebody we talked about.
We talked about him in the offseason, but he just signed a new contract. I don't know if they'd be willing to give him up. But Steve, Bo Melton, I had on my short list with Romeo Doubs there. But I think Datavion Wicks got injured last week, so I'd be surprised if they're going to deal any of those wide receivers.
Right. Was there any news on the Romeo Doubs front? I know he was wanting out of Green Bay.
I mean, he's back with the team and playing. I don't know if they're willing to give him up. I mean, think about it. They got Christian Watson, but that cat cannot stay healthy. So they just can't afford it now that Datavion Wicks apparently got injured, but I don't know what that status was. That may have just been, he may have been right back on the field. Who knows? I just know he got injured last game.
Appreciate the 2, Steve-O. And then Dez with the 2 bomb says, think the Browns would give up Judy. I mean, potentially.
Well, they've already lost Amari Cooper, so
but I don't
now
think
you're
so.
just digging in like to.
Well, I mean, are they just throwing their season out the window? Like, hey, Deshaun Watson's out for the year. We hadn't traded Cooper away. Like, what are we?
But you know they like the young kid they drafted from UCLA. They've still got Jameis Winston. They've got serviceable enough quarterbacks to try to win. It's not like anybody in that division besides the Ravens is that great.
Right.
Now, but I don't think you're catching the Ravens.
Another thing is Judy. I think he could be good in our offense. I think.
Wait, I totally disrespected the Steelers right there.
Yeah.
The Steelers might be the quietest. What are they, 5-2 right now?
Yeah, they're not bad, man.
That might be the quietest, but I just feel like they're just a poser. I just don't.
Well, dude, I don't think they're posers. I think they're a Mike Tomlin ran team. I think they're always going to win a lot of football games.
But couldn't you say if the Chiefs matched up against the Steelers in the playoffs, you don't feel the slightest bit scared about that matchup?
No, not at all.
If we can handle their defense and just serviceably keep the ball, Russell Wilson does not scare me. Justin Fields does not
But like
scare
I
me.
was saying, man, well-coached teams can bite you at any time, too, so you have to think about that.
Yeah, just going to throw this out here, too. Steelers could be in play for Cooper Kupp as well. That's a team we've been talking about going back to Brandon Ayuk that could be looking at adding a wide receiver. They could be right there in the ballpark, especially with them getting Russ back in, hanging 30 or 40 yesterday, and then thinking that they got a shot. So
right. Our boy Kyle with the 2 bomb says, convinced Sky has blackmail material on many of the staff. He's got something. I don't know what's going on.
Maybe he's got pictures of his staff. I don't know what he's got. But look,
Andy, hey, did they send him a dick pic?
Yeah, he got the Dick Vermeil pick.
Yeah, that's what I thought. They said he's holding on to it.
I just feel like it with Sky Moore, like you said. I just feel like they think that at the end, dude, if you go back and watch Sky Moore from his rookie year, he was catching the ball in traffic. He was getting some yak yardage. He didn't look that bad, and he looks like a complete ass. And people's like, what happened to Sky Moore? But I'm telling you what's happened, guys.
I could tell you, too.
The weight of Chiefs Kingdom and everybody saying your ass over and over and over again, that psychologically will do a lot of damage to a person.
Right. Not to mention they didn't put him in the best positions early on.
They've done studies
Killed his
about
confidence.
This. You can go talk to a plant. And you can speak positively to a plant, and it will grow nice and green. And if you speak negatively to a plant, it will die. So that just shows negativity in this world. Get off X, because that's where, if you're going to be on X, follow All Chiefed Up.
Basically, if you read stuff on X, you're going to die. That's what Mike's saying.
Dude, just the negativity has weighed on this cat. The same way it got in Tony's head last year, too.
Yeah. Appreciate you, Kyle. Also, Willie Taylor with the 2 bombs says Garrett Wilson, give Jets a 3rd and a 5th. Willie, I didn't even put Garrett Wilson on my list because I just don't think it's going to happen. But I would love it. They did say, Steve,
that they may trade him.
He would be at the top of my list. And we mentioned this several episodes ago.
Yeah.
Like, this is something we talked about. Like, if you're going to go out there and try to get Mike Williams or whoever, why not take a stab at Garrett Wilson?
So every single person, though, and I'm going to go ahead and include Tyreek Hill, Cooper Kupp, Garrett Wilson, every one of those. Who would you rather have? Would you rather have a young Garrett Wilson, or would you rather have Tyreek Hill if you could snake him?
Tyreek Hill, I guess.
I think Cooper Kupp would go to 3rd on that list now, because I think Garrett Wilson would be number 1, but behind Tyreek Hill. Easily.
Yeah. I mean, Garrett Wilson's a beast, bro. He would be good for us, and in like a long-term play, too. Like, that's somebody you could have as long as he can stay healthy.
I'll say,
you're solid.
So I'll say those. I'll say Tyreek Hill 1, which I don't think is going to happen. 2 would be Garrett Wilson. I don't think it's going to happen. 3, I would put Cooper Kupp, but for the price, he could almost go 4. But Steve, I would put Deontay Johnson and probably Slayton as my number 5. As much as I don't love Slayton,
yeah,
I feel like Slayton would move the needle a little bit more than Elijah Moore.
Yeah, I think they're in the same ballpark, right?
They are. So who knows?
Over 1,100 people in here. Appreciate you guys. If you're on YouTube, hit that like button. Get this out to more people. If you're watching on X, Share that bad boy, repost it, get it out to more people. Also on Facebook, share it. Appreciate you guys for being here. You guys are awesome. We got a 2-bomb from Horned Up, baby. He says, grooving and giving at 6-0. Let's freaking go, Williams Bros.
6-0. Hey, look, the Chiefs, Steve, let's be completely honest right here. Did you think if you would have, if I would have had a crystal ball and I would have said, look into my balls of crystal, Steve.
Look at my balls, bro.
I said, here, look into my balls. And then I brained you. I give you the brain. But no, I pulled out the crystal ball.
The bat wing.
And I said, listen to me. The Chiefs are going to have Isaiah Pacheco on IR after week 2. We're going to have Rashee Rice on IR after week 3. Hollywood Brown's not even going to take a snap, and that cat's going to be on IR. We're going to have Kareem Hunt back. Our leading receiver going into week 6.
What happened, dude?
Our leading receiver going into week 7, not week 6. So now week 8, because we've had a bye. Our leading receiver going into week 8 was Juju Smith-Schuster, but now he's injured. Dude, you would have looked at me and said, there's no way in hell we're 6-0. And Mahomes, statistically, the worst start he's ever had in his career. So
hey, let's quit looking at your balls.
I think it just goes to... hey, a nice bluish hue. I think it just goes to show that Andy and Patrick have transcended what people think it is to be a dominant team in this league. I think just their presence and their game prep and just how they keep a team together has now done. They get more wins than most of these franchises can do off just being themselves and throwing that out there, in my opinion.
I feel that, Mike. I feel it down in my plums.
You feel your balls?
I can feel it all the way down in my plums, getting all swollen, with a light blue hue to them, fresh and juicy, ready for the picking. Hey, that plum looks good. Can I trade it for your Twinkie? Let the juice spill down my chin. You know what I mean?
You know what I mean?
Horned Up with the 5-bomb. Excuse me. Says, thank God. He said, look and not lick. We ain't licking no balls around here, Horned Up. What the?
Hey, it's Raiders week. It's Raiders week. They're the only ones to be licking balls after this week.
Hey, Patrick's not going to forget, man. He said he'll get dealt with when it gets dealt with, and he's not going to forget. So I'm expecting a full-on freaking beatdown.
Me too. Even with the water boys that we have playing wide receiver.
Mahomes might just rush for every touchdown, you know?
He might.
He's a running quarterback now. TGZ with the 2-bomb says, living in the craziest timeline for real.
It's been wild.
Dude, it is crazy. And it's been a very freaking weird season. Not only just from a fan perspective, but from a perspective of guys that cover the team. It's been so freaking weird because I don't know how both of these things are true at the same time. Constant craziness going on. People getting hurt, speculation, this and that. Also, no news. There's nothing to talk about.
Yeah, it's just...
And I don't understand how both of those happen.
You said speculation. It's all speculation. Brett doesn't tend to be wild, you know? And so if he's going to do it, it's going to happen at 2 a.m.
Brett, you got to get wild, baby. You got to let your hair down a little bit.
Get a little nasty with it, Brett.
Brett's so tight, he couldn't pull a needle out of his ass with a tractor, Mike.
I know. I went on X this morning, and by the way, if you're going to be on X, follow All Chiefed Up. Come on, get over there, follow X. If you're listening on X, hit the follow button. We're throwing out good stuff every day. Steve, I wanted to bring this one up. I threw out a lot of stuff this morning, but here we go. Patrick Mahomes' current wide receiver weapons, this is what they've done in their career. This is what Patrick Mahomes is working with this week. Xavier Worthy, who has less than 200 yards receiving and 2 receiving touchdowns. Justin Watson, who has 1,128 receiving yards, 7 touchdowns.
How many years has he played?
Yeah, like 7. Mecole Hardman, who is now like the best receiver on the team, 2,263 receiving yards, 16 receiving touchdowns in probably like 6 or 7 years. Sky Moore, 494 and a tutty. That's all they have. Now, look, you would say on a scale from 1 to 10, that's like a 1. That's scraping the bottom of the barrel. But did you know that is so bad that you could take all 4 of those guys and add up their entire career stats, Steve, and it doesn't beat Devontae Parker, who has 5,660 yards and 27 touchdowns. Devontae Parker outbeats everybody on this freaking team.
You know why, baby?
Combined.
He's got that Kentucky blood in him. He's from Louisville. He's from up the road.
If that doesn't our wide receiver core is right this second, Steve, that Devontae Parker statistically swamps every one of these guys. And I get it. People's going to say, Xavier Worthy's only played 5 games. It's not fair. Who cares? That's what we're working with.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing about it. McCole Hardman, like you said, he's far and away the best receiver on the team right now statistically, right? And he might be.
Not. McCole Hardman's not a wide receiver 1 or 2 in this league.
Right, he's not. But I think, like, here's the thing. If you don't make a move here to add somebody to the team that can take that on that role, then I think you're going to have to lean into him. And is that really the decision that you want to make? And Caracas said he had to check out this clickbait video, looking like a straight demon in his profile picture. Yeah, it's just all clickbait, man. We made it up. No one said anything about it.
Yeah, it says insiders say Chiefs are targeting Kupp and DHop, and we didn't show you that 2 insiders said both that. So, yeah, completely clickbait. Congratulations for not understanding what that term means. Richie
but
King,
he does know what masturbate
months.
means, though. I guarantee you that.
Yeah, he's the master clickbait. That's for sure. Shady McCoy said he talked to Veach and he was told they were not trading for anyone, but who do you believe?
I don't believe Shady McCoy. I think he's full of shit most of the time.
Yeah.
He's always saying some wild stuff.
I don't trust Shady McCoy. But at the same time, do I also believe Brett Veach is probably like actively on the phones right now looking for a trade option? Probably not. Like, he's probably going to go get Paris Campbell, who just got dropped from the Eagles. So
it'll be something like that.
You
know?
get Paris Campbell. Get over it.
I wouldn't be surprised. Willie Taylor with a 5 bomb says, hypothetical. Would y'all make a blockbuster trade for Myles Garrett if we going ride defense? I know it's not happening. Myles or a new wide receiver. Dude, if they were to, I don't think that's possible for us, obviously, with as much as we paid Chris Jones. But would that even be fair to have Myles Garrett and Chris Jones on the same defensive line?
Myles Garrett would probably do, I mean, you're going to pay him a lot more than even you're probably going to pay a Cooper Kupp.
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
by far.
That's obvious.
Yeah, by far.
So if you took money out of it, I would take Myles Garrett over any wide receiver you could give me right now in a trade, minus maybe Tyreek Hill. Because I believe if you put him on the defense, I mean, all the offense has got to do what? Score 20 points, and we're probably winning 99%.
I mean, we're already there.
Exactly.
We're already there. And you add a piece like that, that'd be nasty.
Yeah,
appreciate the sick. 5, Willie. And Horned Up with another 5 bombs. Says 2023 receivers worthy ever. 2024 of each says hold my beer. I think he meant worst ever. Yeah, well, that's the thing. I think here's the crazy part. So the way Brett Veach operates is we're lacking at this position. Let me attack it like crazy in the offseason. And then we'll move on to the next. He's done it over and over again. He did it with the defensive backs. He's done it with the offensive line. He did it with receivers this year. It just so happened he got bit in the ass by injury. So I think Brett Veach did go out and do the things he needed to do with the receiver room, drafting Xavier Worthy, signing Hollywood Brown, going and getting Juju. Rashee Rice was coming on and was one of the best receivers in the league. So I think he did that. He flipped the script from 2023 to a really good wide receiver room. But, man, he had some bad luck.
Yeah, it's just
time for that bad luck to show up.
Bad luck. Appreciate the 5, Horned Up. Steve, speaking of our wide receivers, by the way, I got some more stuff I'll throw out for you here. Let me know what you think about it. Our highest graded wide receivers through 7, the highest graded receiving, so Mahomes' receiving targets through week 7. Noah Gray is our number 1 highest graded receiving target for Mahomes at 85.3 per PFF. McCole Hardman is number 2. 69.7, Kelsey's 3 at 69.3, then it's Juju, Xavier Worthy. Mahomes does not get enough credit. The fact that Noah Gray, McCole Hardman are your top 2 best receivers per grade by PFF, which means they've ran the most open routes, the most, you know what I mean? Like the way they're grading scale. And again, a lot of people don't like PFF. Oh, they're bullshit, blah, 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 blah. But the point is they rate everybody on the same scale. So if everybody's presumably rated on the same scale, I don't care how they get there, that's still a number that you can compare to your peers. So Noah Gray and McCole Hardman.
Well, I'm going to keep saying what I've been saying ever since we started this channel. Noah Gray is good.
Yeah.
You just haven't seen it yet because there's a guy named Travis Kelce that's going to get all the snaps. And that's the thing about it. Like Travis Kelce, he can't do it all by himself. He's getting a little older. You're going to start seeing more and more Noah Gray. Noah Gray has a lot to offer. At times, he will remind you of Travis Kelce. And that's huge praise, obviously. Travis Kelce's the GOAT. So I think I wouldn't dog on Noah Gray or anything like that. I wouldn't say that's a big deal. Now, but I get what you're saying. Like, Noah Gray and McCole Hardman are your top targets. I mean, they've got to start freaking giving Mahomes something to throw to. Like, we talked last year a little bit about When does it become? And I don't think this will happen because Mahomes is like a different character, right? He's just a good guy, right? But what are you going to Aaron Rodgers this kid? Are you just going to piss him off so bad and never give him anybody? Eventually he just gets jaded.
Yeah, but do you want to do that? You just said that Veach tried to help him out. Like he knows Veach went down there like knocking people's knees out from under him. That's what he was doing.
That's it. I think he saw that, hey, they were going to give me some. It's just bad luck, you know.
Right, it's bad luck. Here's the target leaders. Kelsey 37. So everybody that said Kelsey's not getting targets, I mean, he's getting targets. Now look, Rashee Rice, he's got a lot of those since Rashee Rice.
He also has a butt cut in that picture.
Yeah, that's a beautiful butt cut. He's like Buzz Wolf. 29 for Rashee Rice. So Rashee Rice, Steve, has not played for 3 weeks. He's not got a target. 4 weeks if you count the bye. He's still the number 2 guy in targets.
It's wild.
It's just showing you that Mahomes is really not like having to. He's really not having to carry it in the passing game. They're relying on the run game a lot more. Receiving yak leaders through week 7. Rashee Rice at 185. Not played since week 3. Not a single bit of yak since week 3. And he still leads it by like 64 yards over even Xavier Worthy. Like, this is just wild what Mahomes is working with. And then we go to the running game a little bit. Most yards after contact. Kareem Hunt is putting in work in his first few weeks with the Chiefs. 161. But look at number 4 on that list. Patrick Mahomes, number 4 in yak after contact, Steve. 68. Mahomes is a running quarterback. That's crazy.
Mike, I see a boner rising up in the chat right now. People getting a little bit horned.
What do you got?
Because somebody mentioned John Mechie.
Ooh.
What do you think about that? Do you think that's like a target? That seems like somebody Veach might go after.
I like John Mechie. I think that the Texans have a lot over there that they could probably give up a guy like John Mechie. John Mechie dealt with some stuff that he could not help. He's overcome that. I like him. I liked him coming out of Alabama. I think he's fine. But do I think if he doesn't understand this offense, do I think he's going to be able to come in and get it going very quickly? And again, even when he's on the field, he's not showing that he's like a great top tier target.
Right. And isn't that just more of the same? That's like the Brett Veach bargain shopping 101, right? Like if he goes and grabs Mechie, somebody said Jalen Hyatt in the chat. That's a big no. He's just a not good Xavier Worthy. So we're good in that department. So don't like that. Caracas says, is it just me or does Kelsey always start off bad when he has the stash? I think there is something to that, but when he has the stash, it always ends well. So I mean, you got to do it. Kelsey started off pretty slow, Mike. Do you think there's anything to that? Or you think it's just kind of circumstance, like the way the offense is going?
I just think they were trying to do different things at the beginning. I think the Hollywood Brown injury threw stuff off a little bit. I think it was our opponents. Week 1 and week 2, the Ravens had a pretty good game plan, probably trying to get Kelsey out of it. Week 2, the Bengals always, their defense is complete ass, but they could come in against us and make Mahomes and the Chiefs offense look just dysfunctional. They can do that every single time. It's just a bad matchup. They've got our number when it comes to that. I think it's in Mahomes' head at this point.
Yeah.
Like it has to be. It's like a mental thing with him. So I don't know. I think he's finding his groove. But yeah, he's not had a regular season touchdown now in like what? It's literally been like 20 regular season games or something like that. It's insane.
Right. Yeah, it's nuts, man. Do us a favor. Get in the comments and put the name that you want the Chiefs to go after as far as receivers go. I just want to see where everybody's at with that. Just throw a name out there. I've seen quite a bit so far, but just want to get a feel for where everybody's at with that. I personally think the best fit, let's go with that. Who's the best fit? Who do we need to go get? Who's going to help the team right now? To me, that's Cooper Kupp. Now, is it a gamble? Absolutely, because he's so freaking injury prone, and that's bitten us a few times.
Are you giving up a second-round pick and $5 million this year, though, for Cooper
I would
Kupp?
give a third-round pick and $5 million. And then if he gets hurt, I mean, dang. You lost on your scratch-off, right?
Boy, that's going to be a lot of losses, though. At some point, don't you feel like the luck's got to turn around?
You would think so, man. Let's hit this real quick. Ralph, the ace with the 5-bomb. Appreciate you, brother. He says, just catching up now. Is there any chance we don't make a move? Afraid they'll think we have enough.
Absolutely, Ralph.
That's the most likely scenario, Ralph.
That is I would almost say 70% chance Veach sits on his hands and don't do nothing.
Both of them. Right up that B-hole. No,
but Steve, he's the one that's coming out here and putting together championship teams and finding a way to do it.
Right.
So.
I mean, you can't argue with whatever he decides to do.
Who do you think's making the call at the end of the day? I don't even think it's Brett Veach. I think it's Mahomes, and I think it's Andy Reid. And they say, look, we need somebody. Go find them. We would like to have this guy. Go get him. We would like Cooper Kupp if you can go.
Hey, how's this go? How's that go? Like, Mahomes shows up and he's like, come on, Veach, we got to get somebody out here. I can't keep throwing to the water boy. And then
he's got to tell Andy that first.
Andy goes, listen. So you won, you won a Super Bowl or two with the bad guys, so I think you'll be okay. I think we can make it happen.
And then they don't call nobody.
Right.
But I think it starts with Mahomes and Andy and what they got. And look, Mahomes is not going to throw, and neither is Andy. They're not going to publicly throw any wide receiver under the bus. They're going to say what they got is good enough to win. But behind closed doors, they have to be having these conversations.
Yeah, for sure. I've just read off some of these real quick. A lot of people saying Deontay Johnson's the best fit. That's a good pick.
I've been hearing that a lot. I don't know why the Deontay Johnson's such a high fit for what people think. I don't know.
I think he's kind of one of those tweener guys. Is that just one of those guys
that people think that we could feasibly get, and that they're just preparing themselves for it? Like,
I think it's somebody that could get right into that role that Rashee Rice was playing in Excel. I think that's probably.
Does he know the offense though? Like,
no, it take a while.
Deontay Johnson does not know the West Coast offense, right? Does the Panthers run it?
Yeah.
I'm not for sure what the Panthers actually run.
I don't know. Who cares? It's the freaking Panthers. They suck. Tristan brings up a fun one. He says Calvin Austin, but I don't think that the Steelers are going to come off. They're looking for receivers, so.
Right. I like Calvin Austin coming out. I think he's fast. He's quick. But at the same time, I don't know if he moves the needle instantly for us.
Chiefs fan, I think Michael Thomas is just done. I see a couple people saying LaVisca Chenault. Mike, you like that one? I like that one.
But
I like him. He's also the bargain shop.
He's a bargain shop guy that you don't really know what's going to happen. But I do like his ability, and I think he mimics Rashee Rice, even in body frame, to a T.
Yeah, Scars with the 2 bomb says, first, roll in, boys. They're not bringing new. You're probably not wrong. Appreciate the 2, though.
Is anybody going to click a video and come talk to us if we just put the thing up there, that big blank, and just
We're going to put Sky Moore up there and just write, you're stuck with him. Yeah. That's it.
And every one of you guys are going to be like, God, I hate my life. And then you're going to scroll on, and nobody's going to come in and talk football with us. Okay?
Hey, WR2, and just Sky Moore's face up
like
there.
People, like, let's just all think for a second. Like, you gotta do things. We gotta talk football here, and you just don't want to depress people.
Yeah,
so that they're jumping off bridges left and right.
Ratman here with the 2 bomb says, what about Lockett? That was something that we talked about before they restructured his contract. But since they gave him a new contract, I think he's probably there in Seattle. They'd probably trade him, I'm sure, but he's old. He's older than Kupp, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, here's the thing. When Lockett re-signed with the Seahawks, which was just this past offseason, I believe. It was either this past offseason or last. He said in his own words, he loves Seattle. He feels blessed to be there, and he don't want to leave.
Right.
So I don't think they would trade him. And now that DK Metcalf already was carted off the field last week, I mean, I don't think these teams are giving up their seasons. That's another thing. Schefter was saying, if the Titans keep losing, well, good Lord, the Titans they don't have a chance in snowball's chance in hell that they're going to make the playoffs. So why do you got to keep losing at this point?
Yeah, they've already lost. They suck. It's over.
I still think Christian Kirk's one of the top guys I would want to go snag if you could get him.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But we'll keep our eye on the situation. We'll keep our ear to the ground. We'll see if we hear anything, any rumblings. But yeah, I think they do need to make a move. That's where I'm at. Will they? Probably not, but I think they need to. I think that would be beneficial. And I just think Mahomes needs somebody to get out of this funk. Let's get this offense opened up and ready to go. I think a new piece, like if you were to be able to snag a Cooper Kupp, that helps Travis Kelce, that helps Xavier Worthy, and that helps Patrick Mahomes. And if you can help all 3 of those guys,
right,
we're still going to be running it down your throat with Kareem Hunt and Carson Steele. And then before you know it, Pacheco's going to be back. You're going to have a 1-2 punch from hell. I think we could be in a good position come playoff time. But I think you have to go get a piece. I think you have to get something to get this thing going.
Yeah. We appreciate you guys being here, man. This was a fun one, jumping on, talking football, talking about all the things going on in the NFL, all the things going on with the Chiefs. It's been awesome. We've been over 1,000 for a long time. Appreciate it. You guys, please hit that like button on the way out. Do us a favor, hit that subscribe button if you haven't. give us a nice little gift today for putting in some time and effort, and just click that subscribe button.
Gift.
I'd love to see a nice, 100 subscribers on this video or something. That'd be pretty sick. So just do that for us. It's free. It's a way to support the channel. Appreciate you guys. Thursday, we're doing our members only. So if you haven't become a member yet, $4.99, get over there, do that. We're going to give away something awesome. We've got a Jawan Taylor pylon.
It'll be a good time.
A signed pylon that we might give away this week. Because why? Jawan Taylor, 0 penalties last week. There's never been a better time.
We should have got a penalty flag signed by Jawan Taylor.
Next time.
Yeah,
that's what we're doing.
You screwed up, my man. Just want to shout out BetUS one more time, too. Go to betus.com. Use the code YouTube150 and play. Have some fun. Make some money.
Yep. You guys have a good day. Go Chiefs.
There goes a sight from my soul.